to help,
Tends
so
to
I'm
help.
told.
And the next map chosen here by Stephano is going to be Antigua Shipyard. And I love this choice by Stephano. It really does play to his strengths here.
Yes, it does, and we've seen a rather interesting series from these two. We've seen Stephano with excellent defense, clutch defense, some of the best you've perhaps ever seen against an attack right there on Terminus. And then you see Stephano lose to Bischu, and some people get hung up on the idea that, oh, well, Bischu was getting supply blocked, or Bischu's macro wasn't so great. How can he possibly win playing like that? And, well, StarCraft's actually about strategy. Unbelievably, I know, it's a bit crazy. It's not just about mechanics, and those minor errors can be overcome if you have great engagements, great unit composition, and if you start to do a few unconventional things. And look at the amount of harassment that Bischu was able to do the last game, whereas Stephano really was not. He was blocked off the entire time from doing anything to Bischu at all.
Yeah, and that one mothership really did catch him off guard.
Yeah, it did. Well, it's unexpected.
It is indeed, especially off 3 bases. You know, you're not in a fantastic position, but a lot of the time there were so many infestors which weren't really dealing the damage necessary, and the roach count wasn't high enough really, and especially because he didn't really have any humongous damage dealers. Roaches are not that good, especially while you're force fielding and holding them back. Mortals within the mix under Guardian shields. It's a tough thing to deal with, and then add a Vortex in there that sucks all the Broodlords up. It's difficult, and there goes down a 15 spawning pool here. And surprisingly, Bischu actually going for a gateway inside the base, and a gateway at all, instead of a force fast expand here. Maybe feeling a little bit threatened from any fast spawning pools that Stephano can do on this map, especially to punish any force fast expand players.
Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced by the decision there from Bischu, just because of what Stephano tends to do, which is not to punish that kind of thing. You know, 11 pullers or 10 pullers, perhaps the earliest we'd ever see from him. He's not doing that. He's just playing straight up. But it's not a huge deal, as I say. We've seen games go either way and not be predictable based on what's happened at the start. I think that's the mistake you definitely should not make, is to assume from 3 minutes into the game that you know exactly what's going to happen based on a couple of opening moves.
And we do have the pylon going down, blocking the expansion here for Stephano. A little bit annoying, of course, especially when you have intentions to throw down that hatchery relatively fast. And meanwhile, in the base of Bischu, we have the Cybernetics core going down, actually deciding to get a Zealot instead of the second gas faster here. So it looks like we are just going to have a bit of Zealot pressure, and then probably a Stalker follow-up, but it looks like we are just going to see a 1 gateway expansion, especially against the not fast gas Stephano here.
Yep, and down it goes at the appropriate time, and Bischu is not silly enough to allow himself to get pylon blocked by that. Always good. You see even some players at the highest levels forget to put that pylon down. It's a nice, easy mistake to make. Got to be careful. Bischu taking that second gas. Interesting stuff. If you're going for the 1 gate expand with the heavy sentry count in order to block this up, it's actually a fairly good ramp to force field. It's certainly not the worst out of any map.
No, it's not at all. And the Zealot is out, a Chrono Booster Stalker behind it, and he has taken the second gas as well here, so that is something to keep eyes on. A second Stalker being made. What does Bischu have planned here? Because, I mean, he's mining from double gases right now.
You'd think it would be sentries coming now, but the question is, well, why mine from that much gas and then build another Stalker?
Indeed, and I think he's just going to expand and basically follow up with sentries afterwards. He could try to tech as well. He could go for, if he throws down a Twilight Council, could go DT expand, but I think he's just going to use it for sentries afterwards because he wants to put a bit of pressure on with these Zealot and Stalkers. I mean, when you go Gateway instead of Force Fast Expand, the reason behind it is either to super defend against a 10 pool or something, or put a bit of pressure onto your opponent.
Yep, and that's what he's going to do. He probably won't be able to kill that hatchery, let's be honest. I think that Stephano would have to fall asleep to allow that to happen at the moment. Not enough units out there. Stephano would like to get a surround on that Stalker if it can. The Stalker, however, as you said, moves as fast as unupgraded Ling, so unless he makes a mistake and allows himself to get surrounded, this shouldn't really be too much of a problem. Good control right here from Bischu, who then goes in for the direct engagement. He's going to, no, he's not even going to allow that Zealot to die. It's actually excellent control from Bischu.
Yeah, good control from Bischu, but Zergling speed is about to finish. Bischu knows the timing in his head and does come back nice and safe. Adding on these additional gateways as well to make sure he is safe against any follow-up Ling or Roach aggression. And looking pretty good so far for Bischu. And he also has a probe hidden on the third base of Stephano here. And that is excellent because now he's going to know, is my opponent on 2 base with aggression, or is he taking a relatively fast third base here?
Yeah, and that's very, very important. That means that he doesn't have to actively scout. He can know simply from the lack of that base there, and he can filter the options. Now, a Ling run by is going to be attempted here. It's not going to work. There are too many sentries. Once again, Bischu would have to be asleep in order to allow that to happen.
Indeed, and with this play, I was expecting the Twilight Council to come down. One, because you don't want to get the robotics facility that early on when you can already scout with the probe.
Yep.
And down comes the Twilight Council. This means probably we're going to be seeing some 6 gateway blink play is very viable here. So he can go straight into blink from here and then add on the additional gateways into the main base. And that may be great because he's hidden a probe at this north side, can very easily get a pylon down there and can use that as a reinforcement point for this aggression.
Yep, and one probe picked off right there. Not really too big a deal. Stephano doesn't want to commit to that because it would be so easy to block him in there with force fields and eliminate them. A little bit of a dance party going on in the middle there between those 2 gateways.
And there is the blink. There is another gateway. A second gateway should come down as well. Starting to make a bit of a wall off as well if there was a counter attack. He is walling off here, and I'm wondering if he's going to throw that 3rd gateway down, or is he just going to stay on 5? Usually you want to be throwing down that 3rd gateway as well to make it to a total of 6. And looking at Stephano's vision, he still hasn't seen it either. So
yeah,
a little bit of a surprise here, but still, Stephano is only on 2 bases, weirdly enough. And this is a little bit weird because usually you want to be taking a 3rd base a little bit faster than this, around the 8-minute mark, not at this point in the game. And no, unfortunately.
Caught out of position. Stephano, very, very smart, thinking, well, you know what, I haven't looked up there. Let's check before I expand, because giving away that information wouldn't be a good idea at all. That is going to prevent, at least slow down the aggression from Bischu. It's going in fairly well timed for Blink to come through here, and nothing but units on the way out right here for Stephano. Mostly Lings. The +1 has started for range, but that's nowhere near finished. And Bischu's going to be able to open up a path here to potential aggression in the future, and then maybe even go and pounce on the natural. But honestly, I would think that Bischu is not going to want to continue this. It seems a bit risky with that many spine crawlers and that many units coming up. Do you think he's going to keep going?
No, as soon as he sees there's not a 3rd base there, immediately he will turn around. He's not going to stick around, and you can already see everything's running home. He's like, oh, if your money isn't in expansion, and obviously if you're going to expand, there has to be drones somewhere.
Yep.
But right now, that's not the case. So he's actually just going to pull his units back. And he must be realizing, what the hell is Stephano doing? Is he going 2-base Spire, maybe? I mean, is 2-base Infestor? What is this about? So right now, the robotics facility has to come down. He has to get an observer out to actually know what the heck is going on here. He has a forge now, will continue in his upgrades. Maybe actually will throw a cannon down because of this aggressive play. He may also think that there is a hidden hatchery somewhere, maybe, for that 3rd base. But he's also checked the bottom 3 bases already with that probe, not finding anything. So he's just literally going to fall back and play ultra defensive, not knowing what the hell is going on.
Yeah, it's really odd from Stephano, honestly, because we might have seen a really early spy. We didn't. It's just this double evolution chamber here. Lots of upgrades, roaches, burrow as well. Could even see tunneling claws to follow that one up. Has been known to happen. And Stephano's been spreading creep very aggressively to the center of the map, keeping control here. He's got a full creep coverage of the gold base. Could simply be going for that and potentially just playing mind games with Bischu and saying, you don't know what's behind this. You have got to stay back because something horrible could happen to you.
Super heavy roaches are coming out, though. That's basically Stephano's strategy this game is pure roach, I think. We obviously have a few Lings here in the center, but after that, it's going to be heavy roach. We even have the tunneling claws being researched. He's going very upgrade heavy as well, focusing on +2 attack and +2 carapace very, very shortly here. And as soon as this overseer starts to smell what is up, he probably won't even, well, he'll make a few Colossus, but ideally should want to throw down a second robotics facility so he can actually make double Immortals, or even a single Immortal per robotics facility and a Colossus on the other one. And slowly but surely, he's going to see the upgrades currently, and he has to be so careful in the center of the map right now.
Yeah, he does. He wants to try and clearing out creep so that he's got this Elnog watch on the center, but he's got to watch out for being surrounded right here. There's the force field. The problem is they can be burrowed under quite quickly. The tunneling claws is not finished yet. Nicely done there by Bischu.
Yeah, really nice, but he has to be so careful. I definitely think about coming home and expanding to a 3rd base.
Yeah.
We have a Colossus on the way now as well, and where did that observer stop? And it's actually going further ahead now, and it's going to see 1-1 upgrades on these roaches, and he's going to go up and see that late 3rd base, And with knowing that, he's like, okay, I'm playing against a very aggressive Stephano here, making a lot of roaches, and I don't think he wants to stick around in the center of the map. Though in the center of the map, there are a lot of filtered areas where you can force field very well, like we just saw him do that. But ideally, he should be on a third base. But look at the third base right now. Stephano, cheeky little French Zerg player, borrows that Zergling, and that is annoying.
Yes, that really is irritating. I don't want to do anything like that. You might even... I don't even know what he's going to do to clean that up, but there's a really aggressive blinker. This is what I'm more interested in. This heavily upgraded Roach Force doesn't go in with +2. Nothing really happens. There's a few force fields forced here and there, and the Roach Force is very, very large. 48. A Roach Wrecking Ball. Another 8 being added on at the top of that one as well. It just seems like we need to get Immortals out right the hell now. This is just going to come crashing down on us. There's going to be too many of them. And he's seen that they're heavily upgraded. He's seen the Tunneling Claws upgrade. Very visual, obvious upgrade. Stephano almost maxed out on Roaches and is going to just start throwing these. The force field at the back, and will he be able to block them all off? That's really nice play right there by Bischu. He slices that force in half, and Tunneling Claws used to get under the force field. And will he have enough forces here? I mean, he did do a lot of damage to that Roach Ball initially. So let's see how it goes. And Stephano thrown back, and Bischu's defense exceptional here.
Yeah, really nice by Bischu here, but he has to be so careful. Like one mess up with force fields, one misengagement, the game is there and over. And
there's only 3
there are
sentries.
So many roaches out right now. He has to be so careful. He's treading on thin ice right now.
Yeah, this is really, really dangerous for him. He wants to go straight in for the Colossus, and he does that. Oh no, he did not react quickly enough to that one at all. And there are no force fields there to help either. The second Colossus does hold up. He's going to blink right into a large force of roaches coming in from the side as well. +2 now completed. Goes for the Colossus again. Stephano, incredibly aggressive roach play.
And he blinks out, and now he knows how dangerous that really was to actually stay around in the center of the map there. And now he falls back to expand. But at the same time, he could have done that so long ago. I really do feel for him right now. And Stephano is just going to pile on zip pressure as he now is going to mount down onto this third base, realizing that, all right, my opponent's going to sit back now. He's not going to spend all his money on attacking units. He's going to try and get this third base up. Stephano is going to try and bring this destructible debris down, try to come into there and come crashing down onto this third base.
Yeah, and an overcommitment, a mistake there by Bischu could cost him the game. Whoa!
He just, Bischu, attack move into his own pylon.
Oh God, that is a massacre. Stephano just overruns Bischu, GG. Oh God, that was horrible to watch.